listen, it was me. I fucked up.
up.
The reason why this didn't work out is because I didn't hold up my end of the bargain. The reason why this didn't work out is because I wasn't the best possible person that I could be in the situation. And now that I know I wasn't the best possible person I could be in the situation, this is how I plan on moving forward. This is how I plan on being a better person. Welcome back to another weekly episode of the Life After I Do podcast. You're here today with me, as always, Nisha G, my lovely plus one, who's stretching his vocal cords this lovely evening for you.
I'm like sexual chocolate. That boy good.
Really?
Good and terrible.
Good and terrible.
Good and terrible.
Good and terrible.
I believe the children are our future. Thank you. Treat them well and let them lead the way. Thank you. Thank you.
Sexual chocolate. Sexual chocolate, everybody.
I'll be here all week.
Bye. Hi, babe.
Hey, Booskies. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm tired of the motherfucker.
Yeah. I have to concur with that.
We've been lifing.
We have.
Look here. I don't know who decided to have us be booked like this, but it's exhausting.
It's just life. And it's because summer's coming up. So, you know, we also intentionally book things for ourselves because we have the little one.
That's life.
If it were up to us,
be in the bed.
We would be in the bed.
Always.
we would go out, do our thing during the day, whatever. Come back home
about
and
5:30.
And just relax.
By 5:30, we'd be in the bed with dinner, watching a movie.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so amazing.
Right?
Dinner in bed sounds good.
Right. We leave the nightlife for the young ones.
We should schedule a dinner date, but at home with takeout.
Right.
And it should be
with
from no, not schmuck.
You don't want smack noodles?
I know. I want like when I think of takeout, I immediately think of
rice and spice.
Or my other one.
What?
Of Alessandro. Orange chicken.
Oh,
grappa. Oh my gosh. Can we do that? Can we like plan that? Like
we're gonna do it soon because
have to plan it ahead.
She's gonna be out of school and it's gonna be terrible.
I know, we have to plan that ahead. So that's what we're gonna do. That we're gonna plan a date night. I want a date night at home in bed with takeout and a fun movie with our door closed, just us.
And cheeks.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
See, like I feel like I don't get credit enough for
we go.
Taking it easy.
Here we go.
It's the simple things that bring me joy, really.
Okay. How was your week, Wilson?
My week was really good. It was good. We celebrated Grandma V's 89th birthday. That was really fun. Yeah. Happy birthday, Grandma V.
Happy birthday, Grandma.
Happy birthday, Grandma. I think she enjoyed. I love to see that when you're, especially like, I mean, even now, I love being around family, but I think as you get into like your later years, that really just genuinely brings you simple, pure joy just to be surrounded by your loved ones.
She was like, I just want to watch y'all.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
I'm just looking at folks.
I'm just looking at y'all. Like but that brought her joy.
I'm just looking at folks.
Yeah, but that brought her joy. Like when she was talking with Auntie Lisa, and when she was talking about how they took the kids to Universal Studios, and she was on her little cart and stuff, and she said, "I just had such a good time just watching them have fun." Like, think about.
I'm not there yet.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, and that goes into like the different phases of life. So this just brought up something else for me because my nephew, he's going into his first stage of like independence, right? Okay. So he's going to be leaving for college and stuff, and so we were talking, and I was asking him, I was like, "Are you excited? Are you nervous? Like what?" And he was like, "Honestly, Auntie," he was like, "I'm a little nervous," and I was like, "Why?" And he was like,
"Bill's about to get real."
He was like, "Because like I'm on my own." And I was like, I know. I said, the great part about it is that no one is going to be there to tell you what to do and what your next step should be.
And the worst part about it is
that no one's there to tell you what to do and what your next step is, right? I said, but this is one of the most exciting parts in your life. Like, each stage comes with a new experience.
You think you were figuring out who you were in high school.
Oh, right.
You finna get into it now.
And then in your 20s, like you really think that you're so like fast forwarded that you're the one that has been granted the feeling and know-how of everything. And and you're going off of feelings, which is great.
Right.
But I was trying to explain to him, like, we had that whole conversation about him going off to college, being independent, being responsible, whatever. And then when we went to his graduation dinner, we were just talking about like the different stages of life, like your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. And I was telling him going into my 30s, I was super excited. Like I wanted to be in my 30s, like so bad. And he was looking at me. He was like, what? Like, why? He was like, why do you want to get older? Like, what? Why is that something?
It's something. That's something you don't understand until you older.
That's literally what I was trying to explain to him. I was like, when people try to have these conversations with me, Demarie, it's hard for you to understand that because you haven't been in life long enough to have some some real experiences that really shape who you are.
Right.
I said everything that's going to go on in your 20s is shaping you, but then it's going to give you like this different perspective going into your 30s, and then all the shit that's going to happen to you in your 30s is going to give you this different perspective going into your 40s.
And I guarantee you, most of the shit you cared about in your 20s, you ain't going to give a damn about in your 30s.
And that's literally what I told him. I said the things that were so important to me that I would die on a hill on in my 20s, and how I figured, and like how I said what my life would look like, what I was going to accomplish by 28, what I was going to be when I'm 30. I was like, it all went out the window. I said, but now as I'm like approaching my 40s, I was like, I'm starting to get that feeling that I got at the end of my 20s, going to my 30s, going into my 40s.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why is because now going into my 40s, I feel as though I'm able to better put certain things into perspective.
Okay.
I am able to kind of like look at myself and my habits and things that are important to me. And I'm starting to let go of versions of me that I thought is what I wanted to be, and being honest with myself and being like, boo, that was the idea you had of yourself. And you had that idea because of what you thought it would look like and how that would translate to how people thought about you.
Right.
Does that make sense?
And
makes now sense. I'm getting to a point where I'm just like, you can either take it or leave it.
Now,
it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to try to shape myself to be something you accept. I'm going to shape myself to enjoy whatever time I have left here.
Let me interject with this. You are also bringing back parts of you from
that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yes.
That I really enjoyed. Yeah. Because my baby been getting it in the gym. She been getting it in.
Yeah.
Right. And that ass is coming back.
Goodbye.
With a vengeance. I mean, it never left, but now it's getting more shape.
Yeah.
And I'm like.
But that's what I was trying to really explain to him. Like, you get to a point, and you made me think about that comedian. I can't remember the comedian name, but they were talking about as you get older, and especially when you start going into your 40s and 50s and 60s, you start your bucket of fuckets. She was like, your bucket of fucks, like eventually you run out of them. And she was like, and one day you wake up and you look in the bucket
it's empty.
And there's no more fucks to give. So
and it's gone.
And when she was like, and let me tell you how freeing that is.
Right.
When you look in that bucket, I'm
almost there.
When you look in that bucket and ain't no more fucks to give, she said, and that's when life really starts.
The fact that my actions impact my family is really what keeps me in line.
That's what keeps you grounded.
Because if
that's what grounds you.
Because if the consequences wouldn't include y'all, my bucket would have been empty. Okay.
You would have just picked up the bucket, emptied it out, and then started life.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you're supposed to like gradually give them out. You're supposed to.
I gave most of mine out in my 20s. They gone now. The stock is low. Limited supply.
Limited supply.
Limited supply.
Well, I mean, there might be some on sale. You could.
No.
You don't. I have no more fucks to give, guys.
Apparently, the only thing on sale out here is Audacity.
Audacity is like, it's like 99.99% off.
Right.
And people have been buying it in bulk.
That was it. Took me out.
People have been buying Audacity in bulk.
Once again, she always extends her week, so I keep
my gosh.
short. My week was cool.
Okay.
Tiring. Grind. By the time you guys hear this, I am celebrating 200 episodes of my other podcast,
the Heavyweight Podcast.
So Shout out to my other crew, my boy McFly, Son McFly, my boy Kevin Wendell, aka Fictitious, and my girl Des the Diva.
Congratulations.
200 in. I don't know how we do it without choking each other out.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know.
I want to take a moment to shout out my husband.
No, don't do that.
Yep, I'm going to do it. I want to take a moment to shout out my husband because I don't think y'all really understand the amount of work my husband be putting into 2 podcasts. He's a double podcaster. Okay, so he does 2 podcasts. Our podcast, the Heavyweight podcast.
I might be a triple podcaster.
He works out like on his schedule continuously 5 days a week.
I ain't got no free time.
He works full time, okay? And I'm not talking just 40 hours a week. I'm talking plus, okay? Takes care of a family full time, has time to love me, love his kid, and every once in a while he'll load the dishwasher as well.
Right.
So I don't think y'all
every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Big on the once in a while.
He will load the dishwasher as well. And that's really big. He's also for the past month been taking care of our meal prep. So
look here, stop.
I'm just saying.
Stop trying to be. Look, I don't need my DMs flooded.
Listen, I may be maybe a tad bit spoiled, just a little bit.
No, you are spoiled,
just a little bit.
Speaking of kids, I was talking to my old man in the gym.
Your old man in the gym,
right? Because I every time I see him, I say, "Man, when you gonna tell me the secret? I had to look this good at your age," because he's 57. He a swole 57. He was like, I got a little, and today he was like, I still got little abs too. And he was like, I'm gonna tell you the same thing. He said, when I was about 24, he said, I walked into the gym. He said, there was a guy named Charles. He said, and Charles was 57, but Charles was swole.
He was big.
And he said, man, I gotta ask you, what do you do? He said, let me tell you something, youngster. He said, just do something every day.
Every day.
He said, I don't care if it's you walking or just some push-ups.
Doing your garden, do something every day. Lawn.
He said, when you get 57, you look like this. I said, well, it worked. If you 57, you swole.
Yeah.
You swole.
I think it's the activity.
Right.
You just have to stay active. You have to stay moving. Like that's what my granny used to say. You have to move.
Yeah, you got to get it.
If you don't move, you setting yourself up.
And also, speaking of kids, I got baby fever. It's back. It's back with a vengeance.
It comes in waves. So we just have to wait for this wave to pass. We just have to wait for this wave to leave his body. That's all, guys.
It's back.
Don't worry.
It's back with a vengeance.
Don't worry.
And I don't know. It's
something in the air.
Because here's the thing.
Here he goes.
Everything.
Here he goes.
Because I look at my daughter and I was like, oh my God, my baby, not my baby. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, in a couple of years, she's gonna be a goddamn preteen.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna have my baby. I need a baby.
That's not a reason to have a baby.
I need a baby.
Now, if you would have came with a better reason than that, that would have been great.
I didn't think it would bother me as much, but now I really do want a son. Now, I know it's a 50-50 chance.
There's no guarantee you would get one.
I know it's a 50, but even if it's a girl, I'm going to just raise her like a boy. That's what I figured. Be tough on her. Be tough on her.
Okay, I have so many different questions.
Just right.
I have so many different questions about that.
I'm gonna let her like be with you, but not like be with you.
Oh,
like I'm like we come on, get this trash.
Absolutely not.
Come on, we finna go.
Absolutely not.
We finna go hit these weights.
You're not gonna have my baby girls out here emptying trash cans.
It don't even matter because you know what? I was telling the guy in the gym today. I was like, it don't matter. I said, because my daughter can't wait till she's 13. Because she saying when she's 13, she in this gym. She said she don't understand why the gym is hating on her.
Right.
Why she can't be in here.
Because she really wants to go. She really wants. Okay, but that's why I told you, I think I'm just going to start buying little by little stuff for just the corner of the garage. And then that way we can have, because she really wants to deadlift.
Are you going to use it?
I am.
Yeah, oh God. I'm going to hold you accountable.
Oh.
See what I did there? I really should be the host because I'll be I said the host.
Oh,
we already have one hole in this house, and it's you.
I was like, wait a minute, sir.
You want to be a host so bad,
sir.
Big bro.
Sir, thank you for addressing me as such.
Big bro want to be a host.
I appreciate it. It just does something to my spirit.
Hold on, y'all. Look here.
It just does something to my spirit when you approach me by my AKA.
Look here. So. Your boy, I've been trying to play basketball again, and every time I play basketball,
your right knee be like, psych.
my body let me know that my age, I'll be like, oh my God.
That's why you got to keep doing it.
I'm gonna keep doing it.
You got to keep doing it.
The guy that the guy in the gym always does a jump rope. I asked him, so I said, man, are you a boxer? He's like, no, I don't box. He said, I'm about to be 40. I ain't trying to get hit.
Wait, that just reminded me. Me and my sister were talking about, because she was telling me about some of the people at her job and about how they were, two people at her job was like getting into it, two girls, right? And the girl was like, oh, like meet me outside, and they wanted to fight. And I told her, at our big grown age,
I ain't fighting nobody.
First of all, I'm not fighting anybody. Second of all, you touch me, you're going to jail.
I'm shooting.
I'm calling the cops.
I'm shooting.
You are going to jail, ma'am. Okay? I am not finna be out here.
I'm shooting.
I'm gonna defend myself. Don't get me wrong.
I'm shooting.
But I'm not finna be out here at this big old grown age talking about meet me outside in the parking lot. How about that? Absolutely not. Absolutely. Your ass is going to jail.
What we got today, because my knees hurt right now.
I'm sorry. You want to switch? You want to borrow one of mine?
Yours ain't no better.
I know. But I mean, I have one that's better than the other.
Yeah, I know.
So, together.
What we got today?
Together, we could have two good ones. We're going to be talking about accountability.
Nope, I'm out.
You're so lame. Yes,
but I got you.
Accountability in marriage, accountability in your partner, accountability in yourself. I think it's really important. I feel as though what are you taking my hand? Wait,
because I can hear that.
You can hear what? Oh, me touching the mic here. Okay, I'll put my hands right here. Sorry.
I swear, y'all, she be trying me. I almost cussed. Come on now. Before I walk away.
Yes. So accountability in your partner, accountability in your marriage, and accountability.
In what?
In self.
In self, right. Yes. That you don't take. I'm happy we here today.
Please elaborate.
No, go ahead. Keep your intro. We gonna get into it.
Well, apparently this has been a hot topic for you because you've been on social media making your personal clips about accountability and people not holding themselves accountable.
I'm tired of it.
Okay, so what triggered you?
Because I'm tired of people not taking accountability for their part. Like I say, whether you like the outcome or not, you play the role. So you can only pass so much blame off because you play the role.
Right.
Now your part may not have been in this current day when it comes to relationships, but you played a role in the past that allowed the person to be comfortable to act the way they act.
Okay.
Or for whatever happened to transpire. So you gotta take accountability.
Right. So it's like a self-reflection thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at the age now where I ain't got time to have no secret grudges.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna tell you straightforward out the gate, like Monty yesterday with that text message.
She was trying to figure out a nice way to tell people to not come because it was getting late and we were all about to leave. And so she was like, how does this sound? But then at the heart of it, she was like, I'm not going to do all this. I'm going to just tell them don't come because y'all leave.
That's it.
She was like, I don't have time for this.
And I will say, like, the one thing, probably the biggest part of therapy that I've taken away is that the accountability had to start with me.
Absolutely.
And so now that I start taking accountability for my actions and what I say, I'm heavy on nigga. If I'm doing it, you about to do it too.
Yeah. But I think it also motivates the people that are directly in your circle.
Right. Because I'm going to tell you.
It kind of forces them to start doing their own self-reflection.
Do it.
And for them to kind of pick, you know how they say you are the people you hang around, right? So if you have somebody who is being self-reflective, somebody who is not ashamed or afraid to say, listen, it was me, I fucked up. The reason why this didn't work out is because I didn't hold up my end of the bargain. The reason why this didn't work out is because I wasn't the best possible person that I could be in the situation. And now that I know I wasn't the best possible person I could be in the situation, this is how I plan on moving forward. This is how I plan on being a better person. And when you have people who are in your immediate, circle and they see that, you're setting up the model, right? And then you're also letting people know on Front Street that you also don't tolerate.
I'm not tolerating.
You don't tolerate any behavior that's outside of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's another thing why if I have something to explain, I'm not going to text it to you.
Right.
I'm finna call you.
Right, because there's not going to be any miscommunication about something being not taken out of context or the way it sounded.
You're not finna read it with your attitude.
Right, when it wasn't with my attitude. Right.
and apply it to me.
Right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and call you and tell you.
You're gonna hear all the tones in my voice.
Right.
And then you'll be able to make
And then assess the situation.
And then assess the situation.
Right? And then I've gotten to the point to where if what I say, whether it piss you off or not,
right. I said it.
Right. I'm at peace.
Yeah.
All I can control is how I'm going to react to your reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't get to tell you
how to
feel, and I don't get to tell you how you should have taken it. I'm just here to tell you that all I can tell you is how I meant it. Yeah, so you're basically like,
that's it.
I'm just acknowledging
that's it.
my emotional needs. I'm letting you know.
I'm gonna let you know, like today, for instance, earlier, I acknowledge what you said. That's not how I meant it.
Right.
I acknowledge it.
Right.
That's how, and then
I told you, just so you know, this is how I heard it.
And I said, I acknowledge that.
Yeah. But that's not what I meant.
That's not what I meant.
Right. Right. And I think that was a perfect example. The example was today when we were getting ready for, to record for the podcast. He came home and I was just now getting myself together, and he made a statement. He was like, oh man, well, I thought you would be further along than you are now. Mm-hmm. And so I stopped and I was like, I said, now let me ask you a question. And he was like, what? I said, what purpose did that statement serve? Because I can tell you how I just internalized that. I can tell you what my ears are, like the undertone of that, when my ears are picking up. Mm-hmm. And then you proceeded to say, yeah, but that's not how I meant it. I was just making a statement of, I just thought that you would be further along. Yeah. And I explained to you, but from my perspective, what I'm hearing is, what were you doing this whole time?
So now that we got you on.
Hold on. But I say that because when I think about my response in saying that to you, mm-hmm. in my head, I try to be accountable, and I'm like, why? What about me mm-hmm. made me feel like that's what he was insinuating? And the thing about it is like, were you wasting time? Could you have managed your time better? Should you have been further along?
Did I say that though?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But that's
how you took it.
But that's how I took it. Mm-hmm. But I took it that way because of something in me.
Okay.
And that's the whole idea and point around today's topic.
Accountability.
Right? That's where the accountability comes from. Because when he made the statement, immediately on some level, I felt defensive. I felt like he was trying to throw a sneak attack, or he was trying to say something without saying it. Mm-hmm. And so I had to think to myself, what is it about me, my thinking brain, mm-hmm. my thinking heart, about mm-hmm. the statement that you made? And you didn't come in with an attitude.
Not at all.
You didn't say it like, oh, well, I guess you're not further along. And it was nothing like that.
There was no energy behind it.
He literally just made the statement, I just thought you to be further along. And immediately my brain was like, attack, defend. Attack, defend, And so I'm just like, what was the purpose that the statement served?
Because I felt like I was in a safe place. I was talking to my person.
Shut up. I felt like I was in a safe place.
I could relay my feeling in the moment. I just walked in the house with the assumption that I'm like, okay, let me hurry up because she'd been on it.
Yeah.
But when I
had already sent you the outline and yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me get to it. Yeah. And then when I saw what I saw, okay, well, based on prior information that I had,
I just thought
I was assuming
that I would be the one rushing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all I did.
And that's why.
But you was like.
But that's why I can appreciate that we can still have that type of dialogue, because that could have easily
it could have been a whole argument.
It could have been a whole argument. It could have been a whole argument. Mm-hmm. Just me replying with, what was the purpose of you mm-hmm. saying that statement? And then him getting an attitude, mm-hmm. and then me getting an attitude that he's getting an attitude because I'm like, oh, so now I can't state how I feel. You came in and stated how you. It could have went completely left. Right. So I do want to I want to acknowledge and appreciate the fact that we were able to mm-hmm. go through that little, and work it out.
Say thank you to Dr. Williams. Because my therapist has been working on me. Okay.
Bye.
So since we are talking about accountability, give us some talking points from a woman's perspective.
Okay, so
I can't say female. Y'all don't like saying, but y'all females.
That's side note. We were walking into Target and he goes, if I was somebody you didn't know, and I said, what were you saying? Like, and I acknowledged you as, oh, this female over here. He was like, would you be offended? And I was like, absolutely. And he was like, why? You are a female. I said, but it's the way in which you say it. Like, you refer to me as like, don't do that. Like, oh, this female over here, like I'm nothing. Like just this female. So he was like, but if I said, this woman, I was like, absolutely, I'd be okay with that. Okay. Because that sounds.
And then what I say after that?
That sounds softer.
Then what I say?
What'd you say?
Not this female walking into Target.
Such a butthole. Yeah. So when we talk about accountability, first thing that comes to mind is acknowledging your emotional needs. Okay. You have to own your own feelings before you can expect your partner to understand them. Okay. Mm-hmm. So again, the example that we gave earlier about the interaction that you and I had, I had to really think about what was it about myself that made me feel like you were trying to sneak attack me with that statement, And then when I thought about it, that's when I started thinking to myself about my own self-reflection and trying to hold myself accountable. Did I manage my time, as best as I could between the time that I texted you, like the outline and everything that we were going to do? Did I maximize all what I was trying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, or was I just scrolling?
Right.
Was I, as the old people would say, pussyfooting around?
Oh, not that pussyfoot.
Was I pussyfooting around? And if I had to admit it.
You was?
I was scrolling. I was on YouTube. I'd be moving slow sometimes. If you don't put an actual time limit on it for me,
so where your daughter
I'd be moving slow.
So where your daughter get it from?
No, because I be giving her time limits. When I'm on time limits, I get a shit done. But don't come for me. See, now you're coming for me again. Now you're coming for me again, okay?
I just asked the question.
Jeez, I got to talk to the therapist about why I feel so defensive sometimes.
Yeah, you really do.
Because you be coming for me, and I feel like I have to.
You need to work on yourself.
Shut up. You need to work on yourself.
Why you keep hitting me with your strong ass?
Stop. Okay, so owning how you feel before you can expect your partner to understand.
But that goes both ways. I feel like all these points go both ways, right?
Absolutely.
Because I understand now that it is not good for me to talk to you when I'm angry.
Correct.
Because
nor is it good for me to listen to you when you're angry.
Because it's going to be some love in there.
It's going to be hard for me to fish it out.
Right. And it's going to be hard for me to put the love on top of the anger.
Yeah. And then my defensiveness combined with that.
And now you being defensive. Now I'm being defensive. And now ain't nothing getting solved.
And we all know how I behave when I feel like I'm being attacked.
Right. Like a toddler.
Don't make me feel like I'm being attacked.
Like a toddler with a pair of scissors.
I only know how to cut.
That's why I said like a toddler with a pair of scissors.
I listen. And again, self-reflection, guys. That's why I always say, you know how some people say a woman's words can break or make a man? I fully believe that. Yeah. And I fully believe that because I know, like I said, sometimes when I feel like I'm being attacked or I feel like you really trying to come for me, I don't have an in-between.
You don't.
I don't. I know I don't.
Savage.
Like he said, a toddler with scissors who's ready to cut.
That's it.
I only know.
And I'm the piece of paper.
I only know how to make you feel worse than what I just perceived you made me feel. Right. And you're not going to like it.
Right.
You're not. Because sometimes he'll look at me like you did not just say that. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. That was maybe a little too much.
But also a part of that and the flip side of that is that on my side, I have to own the emotional impact that I had on the situation. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So even if my intention wasn't to be mean or wasn't to hurt you, I have to acknowledge the fact that you were hurt in that moment. Yeah. Right. Even if I feel like you shouldn't be, it doesn't change the fact that you are. Yeah. So I have to acknowledge that. Yeah. Because whether it was intentional or not, I am accountable for that. Right. Because my actions or my words led to that. And I feel like that's the hard part about accountability, people to get around. Like, well, why am I accountable for how she feels? It's because of how because of how I portrayed it made you feel this way. Yeah. Because
know what you're doing when you say certain things.
Sometimes.
No. Sometimes I just most people know that most people know the emotion they're trying to inflict when saying things. Right.
And I mean, a lot of times in relationships, there's certain topics that you really gotta pussyfoot around. Yeah.
Shut up, babe.
You can't go full force and just be like blatantly honest or not. You be honest, but it's a way sometimes you gotta lead with the honey and not the shit.
So you mean you attract more bees with honey than you do shit?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to drizzle the honey and don't just come in with the shit. Because I'm with the shits.
Yeah,
but sometimes I got to put the shit up.
Yeah, because some people want to just shit on you and then walk away and then be like, okay, now you deal with it. And then when they walk away, there is no accountability because in their mind, and I know because this happened a lot too. That's how I feel. Right. Those are my feelings. And that's fine. Right. Your feelings are valid. Right. That doesn't mean you get disrespectful. And this is coming from somebody who has had to make many apologies on being disrespectful because there is also a way to argue. Like there is a way to have a disagreement and it doesn't have to be with us name calling or being disrespectful to one another. There is a respectful way that you can have an argument or a disagreement with your partner and also still hold yourself accountable for the part that you played because it's not just one-sided and you can't always come from the perspective of I would be better if you did this. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people. They look at what they do and they're like, oh, you know what? Like, what is it about me that you can complain about? You can't complain about it because I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. And you don't do any of this. And then you have the nerve to complain about me. For us, I feel like the biggest change in our dynamic, especially when it comes to accountability, is when I changed my thought process from why are you not responding or doing what I need you to do to how can I get you to respond? Yeah. But the only controlling factors in that is you. Me, right? So that's only you. I narrowed it down to, like you were saying, I'm not communicating properly enough. I'm not. See, I'm putting the blame on me. I'm trying to be accountable. I'm not communicating properly enough to get you to move or get you to do the things that are important for me. I need you to do, right? And what I learned is that a lot of times when you wouldn't do certain things, I just wouldn't say anything. I would go do it myself, right? And that wasn't beneficial, or that wasn't helping none of us because you can't. The issue can't be addressed if it's not being spoken. Right. And then if I don't know that's an issue for you, I'm going to go about business as usual. Right. So if you want to keep putting gas in the car, I will not argue about that. Oh my God. How do we get back to gas in the car? I am going to continue to let you put gas in the car and I will ignore. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, sorry. Yeah. So, that's the self-awareness, the self-accountability. Another thing I think what's a lot of people probably don't understand or realize is when you get into the headspace of trying to blame the other person for why you behave a certain way, something that was always taught to me was the lack that you see in others, right? So like if there's something in you that I am not happy about and I feel like it's a lack or a negative, the only reason I'm able to see that is because it's a mirror that's reflected back in me. So somewhere in my life, and it doesn't have to be along the same lines of where I see the lack in you, but somewhere in my life, I'm feeling that about myself. And that's why I'm able to recognize it in you. Right. But instead of me thinking about it in that terms, in my mind, I'm only thinking, well, I would be better and I would do this if you were better and he was did doing this. What right. But again, that's why I always say, a close friend of mine, I told him recently, I said, you're going to be so much farther along where you want to be in life once you start to realize that the tit for tat really don't work. It doesn't work. And it just pisses you off. Because you're tit for tatting and nothing's improving. Right. Nothing's getting being solved. And you're just constantly in a revolving phase of I'm not doing this because you're not doing this. Because you don't do that. And because you did that, I'm going to do this. And then what's the point? Well, at that point, what's the point? You're purposely driving the wedge between you two wider and wider. Yeah. Because you're also not taking into consideration how the other person might be feeling too. Because what happens if you're both feeling the same way? And nothing's going to get done. But here's the thing. And here's what I realized. This is my personal thought. I feel like a lot of people lack the willingness to take accountability because it has to be taken first by them, right? Oh, right. Before you can hold other people accountable. Before you can hold other people accountable. Yeah. Which means that you have to accept the fact that it's a possibility, just possibly, you're wrong. That you're the problem. You're wrong. You're the problem. Yeah.
Right.
And that's hard. That's a hard pill to
It's a
swallow.
hard pill to swallow.
That's a hard pill to swallow,
Like-
especially when you set yourself up here.
Right. Right.
You set yourself up here as the person who
Right.
I don't understand what you could complain about because
Right.
I'm great.
I'm perfect.
I'm perfect.
I'm doing A, B, and C. Yeah, but I need you to do.
I'm doing all the things that I expect for you to want you to do. Right.
But that goes back to.
But you are assuming that's what I want from
right.
you.
that goes back to, I don't know how many episodes it goes where it goes. You have to love people in the way they perceive love.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just say, well, this is how I perceive love, so this is what I'm. No, but that's not, you know what I'm saying?
I bought you flowers on Valentine's Day.
Like, I can't love you how I want to be loved because you be mad.
Bye.
Because you be like, you're not feeding into me. And I'm like, you're right. I'm feeding into me twice.
Bye. Goodbye.
But I have to be accountable for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The other is avoiding passive aggression. Okay. Holding in frustration only grows more bitterness,
That's
people.
it. You got to break the silence.
So you got to speak it.
gotta
Don't bury
Right.
it. Okay. And remember, there's a respectful way to do that. There is a respectful way to come to your partner and say, hey, I'm not feeling fulfilled in this area of our life or of our relationship. And I feel like this is what I would need. That kind of takes me to, I had heard, I think we talked about it a little bit on a previous episode where a therapist was talking about, even if you feel like you're not getting everything you need from your relationship, just try to focus on your partner, right? Just focus on your partner and focus on their needs and see if that can also inspire them, right? To be like, okay, well, my partner is meeting A, B, and C. Like I said that I wanted more dates. He's taking me out once a week. I said that I wanted more family vacations. He's making sure to be financially sound and plan out something for us every 6 months. And when you see that effort happening, you automatically, I mean, at least for me, you start having that reflection like, damn, well, what have I not done for him? Or how can I be better for my husband? How can I be better for my partner? You know what I'm saying? So maybe just try focusing on your partner's needs instead of focusing so much on your needs and beating up your other partner for not fulfilling your needs. Focus on their needs. Take the attention off of yourself for a second and find joy in trying to like love on your partner and love them in a way that they perceive love and see if that can inspire them to want to do the same for you and see if you can get what you need out of your partner the whole time, right? So if he's complaining that you don't cook enough. Okay, well, pour into her that makes her feel loved and inspired, and then maybe she'll be like, you know what? Let me cook for him. Like I want to.
And that's what I was going to say too. Like it's the process of protecting her peace, right? Because we always talk about protecting a man's peace, right?
Yes.
It is a big thing.
Yes.
But it is a flip side of that, right? You have to create a environment to where she feels safe and loving, where that she can be the peace that you want. Like you can't expect her to be peace for you.
You can't expect her to be prepackaged peace.
But you constantly bringing her hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
That don't go together.
She's not going to come with prepackaged
That's
peace.
plaids and stripes.
Bye, Maurice. You're so stupid. That's plaids and stripes. What the hell?
I gotta stop watching Vampire in Brooklyn.
You do. You really do. He watches it like it just came out.
It's one of my favorite movies. But you have to, like, I understand, like, the way I talk to you, the energy I bring through the door affects the energy that was here.
Absolutely.
Right? So if the home is calm and everybody's peaceful and quiet and they kind of do their own thing,
and you come up in here with the wrath,
and I come in here like a tornado,
it's not gonna look good.
I'm disturbing the peace.
Absolutely.
I'm disturbing the peace.
And we know how I get when the peace is disturbed.
You get ghosts.
I said, listen here, what you not finna do? We up in here cuddled up watching a movie, relaxing, and then here you come up in here wanting to be loud, got an attitude. Right. No, sir.
I really do try.
We finna leave and go to Yogurt Land. You can have the house to yourself.
I really do try to not bring work home with me.
Yeah.
And I've actually gotten to the point now where work don't even affect me. Like, when I clock out, that's tomorrow's problem.
Go ahead.
But it is a thing. Like that you have to be each other's peace.
You do. But here's the thing, and this might be a controversial thing, but me personally, I'm speaking for myself, because I think that some men would be like, okay, but why can't she initiate, or why can't, this is the thing. if you are considered, I'm going to put air quotes on it, head of household, you are the man, you are the provider, you want to be, this is the problem that I have, like with some men, you want to be looked at as like you're the person taking care of it all. You're the one shouldering the most weight. You're paying the bills. You're taking care of the family. You pay the mortgage. You make sure we have food on the table. You're doing all these things, and we are supposed to look to you as like our safety, our security, our protector, our financier. We're supposed to look to you for all of those things, right? But when it comes to the emotional aspect of it,
you got to be there too.
I'm just supposed to just be so grateful that you earned a paycheck this week and that we still have a roof over our head. And then I'm just supposed to just lay at your feet and give you the world. But with also being the provider, you also have to understand that also comes with making sure you manage the tone of your home. Right. It comes with making sure you manage the energy of your home. All that still starts with you. So when you say like, oh yeah, but you're carrying the load and you're doing all this, you're doing all that, I can't do everything. You've put yourself in a position to want to be the person to take care of everything. And that starts with everything. So the energy of the house, when you come home, if you're not liking the energy of the house, if you feel like, like something is off, something is amiss, so things are being ran the way, okay, so how are you going to address that? How are you going to address, because you're the leader. We're following the leader.
There's a difference between duty and responsibility. Right. Now, if I'm the leader, I'm the leader. I'm in charge here. It is my duty to make sure that the resources are here that are required to run the day to day. Right. That's my duty. Now, whether I go out and get that via working, hustling, or whatever. Right. As long as we're taken care of, that's my duty. As long as the material, earthly things are taken care of, that's my duty. Right. My responsibility is to make sure that emotionally and mentally you're taken care of. Right. So they're separate tasks. Right. But they're both as equally as important.
And the same falls for the women. Like,
right. Yeah. But it's even more so because as the leader, as the man, if you're the man and you say you're the leader,
and that's how you've positioned yourself.
That's how you position yourself.
Yeah.
These are requirements, both of the duty and responsibility are both your requirements for your role. Yeah. Now, if you're only taking care of half of that, you're lacking in your role. Right. So you when she comes to you with issues, you know what I'm saying? You can't be mad at her if you're not fulfilling all of your duty and all of your responsibility. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. Because it is your responsibility. It is, I feel like personally, I know a lot of men are not going to agree with me, but I do feel like personally that it is my responsibility that my woman feels that she can be soft with me, that she feels that she's safe with me, that she feels she's protected with me, right? And Lord knows, I know you feel that way because you be lost in the sauce whenever we together. If I don't tell you there's a pothole in front of you, you're going to walk into it.
Don't push it.
I don't know what
I do have eyes. Okay. But like I told him yesterday, because we were all having this discussion too at his family's house. And I forgot the statement you had made, but I had told him, I said, listen, I'm going to tell you like I always tell you. If it's something I don't feel I need to be concerned with, I'm not going to concern myself with it. If I need to concern myself with it, then I will. But I'm not going to. We were talking about
in short, she said, if I know you got it, why I'm worried about it?
Why would I worry about it? The point is that you tell me not to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it until I need to worry about it. Right. Listen, like we said, going back to the whole, this is the environment you have created, right? It's not about me being lazy because if I need
it's the trap that I have set for myself.
If I need to get something done, I will get it done. If it's something like when you were down from your accident, the point is that things still got done. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like things that I wasn't normally responsible for, I had to take care of because it was my point now to step up because my husband could not. Okay. Right. So it's not a matter of me just like taking the hands off the wheel and just being but you have created an environment for me where
you are safe.
I don't need to be concerned with certain things. And and until I need to be concerned with them, I will. But if I don't need to, Why
Okay.
would I?
I'm
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna just give a rundown of the rest of my points because we're running short on time.
Okay.
So, some other key points, right, about accountability. And I'm gonna just list them off and give it a quick comment on each. Right, being transparent with the finances, that's important because being transparent with the money is allowing her to feel secure and safe that everything is taken care of financially. You don't want them to be in the dark and then all of a sudden, like the reaction a couple weeks ago, you get the eviction notice on the door.
Yeah, that would be.
And now you ain't been working.
Yeah, and we had an experience like that once, and it's not
right.
It ain't cool.
Right.
That was a learning part of our relationship in our early 20s.
We got through it.
But I'm just saying, see, a little PTSD kicked in for a second.
Right. Another point is admitting when you're wrong. Now look here, this is something I do. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna say I'm wrong.
It took you a while to get there, though.
It did take,
because
but now I'm comfortable in it.
It's like stretching rubber bands.
I feel like my bad. I messed up. What we want from here? Now that I acknowledge that I messed up, we ain't gotta talk about it. How are we gonna fix it?
We still do need to talk about it, though.
No, but also you have to understand that taking accountability is not weakness. Telling that you're a woman or telling your partner that you're wrong, that telling them how they make you feel or what that is not being that's not gonna mess. That don't mean you're weak. That's not gonna mess with your masculinity. If anything, I feel that makes you more masculine because you're owning your emotions and your responsibility.
And I see that as you trying to be an effective leader.
Right. And also you know uplifting her in public and private. Now look here. Y'all know
you can cool down on that a little bit.
If y'all know me, Big Bro here, I give Big Bro her props all the time.
Bye.
You know what I mean?
That just sounds so stupid. Give Big Bro her props.
I give Big Bro her props all the time. I agree. I feel like it has always been my take to love her just as loud in private as I do in the public. Yeah. That's always been my take. I don't know if she's always felt that way, but that's always been my stance. Yeah. I love her just as loud in private as I do in public. Another point is I do try to create space for her voice, even though sometimes it irritates me.
Again, that's another topic of stretching rubber bands.
Especially when she do that damn pop. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I think this point is I think this is very, 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 this is key. Consistency over grand gestures, right? Mm-hmm. So I can't just sit here and constantly do the same thing and say I'm sorry, and then the I'm sorry or my bad is the consistency. Yeah, and then I try to do something great to fix it up, and I go right
but you
back.
don't change the behavior.
The consistency is that is saying, okay, I apologize. Going forward, because I tell the time, I'm working on it. I ain't perfect.
He's not. He's definitely, like I said, this is one of those stretching rubber band moments.
And I'm not. Excuse me. I'm not perfect, but what I know is that the more I work on it, the more I catch myself in situations and they get better. Yeah. And because it's all about creating new habits of communication. For us, in particular, for me, it's creating new habits of communication with my wife so that I can express myself properly to her so that she can receive my message properly. Yeah. Right. And another thing is I don't point out her flaws. I don't. No, I do not. We have
not often.
Not often. Sometimes I gotta be like, you gotta do a little better here.
You gotta like last month I rated you a 9. This month you were a 7. So if we can just work back up to that 9.
Because every month I tell her, look, you got your performance review coming up.
Okay, good dang on by.
You got your performance review coming up. So.
You go have your performance review coming up too.
Oh, it's great. 10 out of 10. We'll recommend.
No, I'm fighting for more child support.
You get the whole check.
I'm fighting for more child support.
So, yeah, it's just, I don't know if you want to run through yours too. But.
So I know we went over avoiding passive aggression, owning triggers of past hurts. Okay. The emotion belongs to me, even if he's the one who triggered it. So again, back to the example. That was my emotion. Right. I have to be accountable to that. I have to find what's inside of me that makes me feel that way when he makes statements like that. Mm-hmm. Consistent follow through. I can ask for consistency if I'm inconsistent with my commitments. I can't ask for
Yeah.
consistencies if I'm inconsistent with my commitments, right?
You gotta
so
go both
I
ways.
can't ask something
Duality.
of him. Oh, here he goes.
Duality.
I can't ask something of him that I'm not showcasing
That's it.
myself.
Right. So stop asking me for money.
First of all, I don't ask.
You just
I
take
get money. I get money deposited
You take it.
every week. Okay. Challenging double standards. I don't get to demand him being vulnerable while punishing him. Right. So I'm not going to ask him to be vulnerable and open with me, but then attack him or punish him when he does because I don't agree with what he said.
And a lot of women do that.
Like you say something to me and I'm asking you to tell me how you feel, but because the way you feel doesn't align with how I think you should be feeling.
You preaching now. Because a lot of women do that.
And then when I give him the rebuttal, even though in my mind it's coming from a place of I'm trying to get you to change your perspective and you should look at it this way, it's coming off as like, okay, now you beating me up after you asked me to be open.
Now
I'm trying to be
nagging.
open. Yeah. Oh, that's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother episode. Being honest about burnout, accountability includes knowing when you need help.
Yeah.
So knowing when I need help,
She gonna tell me too.
I let him know, like, hey, this week,
I need you to do it.
listen, I'm working at about 30%.
I ain't got it,
Remember that
pimp.
episode? I was like, I'm only operating at about 30%.
I ain't got it, pimp.
So I'm going to make sure you have your lunch. I'm going to make sure your dinner is prepped. Outside of that, I don't really have much for you. Please.
Don't come in here with no shit.
Please. And and it's a 50-50 chance if you tap me on my shoulder in the middle of the night, I don't know what you're going to get because I already told you I'm only operating at a 30%.
He just lay on top of me and do
He's
his
business. Stop it. No scorekeeping.
Oh, Lord.
That's a really big one.
Okay.
Marriage is not 50-50 most of the time.
It ain't never
We have to think it is not like people who this whole 50-50 thing, it's not realistic. Like I just said just 2 seconds ago. Sometimes I'm only operating at 30.
Sometimes
and I'm
15.
gonna need him to operate at 70. And yes, he carries a big load, but that's still my partner.
Pause.
Bye. That's still my partner. And even with all that he does, if I need help, I'm going to express that I need help. When he needs help, he expresses he needs help. Even if I
ain't got it.
If he doesn't have it and I see that he's not trying to be like, he's just trying to dump a load. If I genuinely see like, stop it. If I genuinely see like he ain't got it. He can't, he didn't scrape the bottom of the barrel. And even if I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel, but my barrel I still got a little bit left in the tank, but he ain't got none in the tank. I'm gonna have to take one for the team.
Right, yeah.
I'm gonna have to take one for the team. I'm gonna have to let him get himself straight because I know that when he's at the top of his game, order comes back into our household. Okay. Calling out disrespect calmly. I can name what hurt me without demeaning him. Okay. So, I mean, that's really just kind of saying things in plain and simple terms without throwing daggers at you. So I can tell you what it is I actually need without making some innuendo that also is demeaning to you or disrespectful to you. Modeling the standards that I want, setting the standards through my behaviors and not just my words. Right? So
that goes both ways.
Yeah, it goes both ways. But I have to be the change that I expect to see.
Ooh, I say it all the time. Don't I say it?
I have to be the change that I expect to see.
That's it.
If I'm not getting something out of you, I need to change the behavior within myself first.
What I say at the top of the episode?
Right.
You got to start. You got to start with you.
Yeah, it's got to start. There's no way around it. You have to start with yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes those are really tough pills to swallow because it's hard for us to think of ourselves as like the issue or the problem or us contributing to the downfall of a relationship or us contributing to why something didn't work out or why this person is behaving the way that they are or why my wife or my husband doesn't do the things that I'm asking them to do. And it's very simple. And I gave them a list and you have to be the change that you expect to see within your partner. It's just plain and simple. And then lastly, not using intimacy as a weapon.
Ooh, Lord. I could have another you in a minute.
Matter of fact, he'll be here in a minute. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that one's pretty much self-explanatory. Withholding love to punish isn't accountability.
Right.
That's just trying to be controlling.
Just trying to be controlling.
Yeah. So it's like, that's why I say, like earlier, even if I'm only operating at 30%, I've already let you know I'm operating at 30%. But when you tap me on the shoulder, I really don't know what you're going to get, but it's a 50-50 chance. It's going to be a 50-50 chance you might come out on top. You might be successful, you know?
And if not, I'm just going to climb on you.
Bye. Shut up. No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm just climb on you and do my business. So, no, you're not.
Here are some things that accountability will look like for you if you're trying to practice it, right?
Okay.
You gotta check in with yourself often.
Yeah.
You have to reflect.
Yeah.
I try to reflect on almost every interaction I have with my wife and with certain people that tend to, especially anything that gets me out of my nature.
Out of character.
Out of character.
Yeah. They were able to, they had that much control over you.
Yes.
That they got you out of character. Yeah.
That's one thing. You have to apologize and change. Now we understand that the change is not going to be overnight, but it has to be small changes, small consistent changes over time, right? Because you can't just keep apologizing and not changing, because in that point you're lying to yourself and you're lying to them.
You're just glossing over the situation,
right? And it also helps to go have some type of therapy. Like I'm a champion for therapy or coaching. Have someone that you can talk to that will tell you the hard truths
and have an unbiased opinion about things.
All my opinions are biased because I'm just playing. But they had to have an unbiased opinion, especially when if you're dealing with your own personal relationship, whether you're talking to them about your spouse or whatever the case may be, right?
Or talking to other married people.
Right.
Please.
And then when it comes to accountability within your relationship, sit down with your partner and see, hey, is what we got going on, is it working? Is it working for us?
Do a performance review of the relationship.
Right.
And then reevaluate what the new needs are versus the old needs, and how we can get to a place where we're both content and friendly and happy.
And then
roommates.
And then you have to call out each other in a respectful manner. You have to approach them and say, hey, you've been doing this and this is bothering me. Hey, have you ever thought, can I ask you why you're doing this? Because I don't like the way you do this, or the way you talk to me. Like, you have to have these conversations, because the issue has to be known for you to move on, right? Yeah. And the most important thing you can do to have accountability in a relationship and a marriage is that you have to honor the agreement and you have to follow through on your promises. You cannot tell your partner or your spouse that you're going to do X, Y, and Z and you keep doing A, B, and C.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. It's going to just build resentment. It's going to show them that you're not serious about growing or trying to improve the relationship. So if you say, hey, I'm going to take you on more dates.
Can I never see a date?
And you never see a date? Because look, in my mind, look, we had this conversation. I said, my wife said, I want to date more. And I said, okay. And then it was literally just one date a month. But it was more than what we was getting.
Yeah.
Now we just record for dates.
Or we're gonna have a bed date with takeout. Remember?
I kind of count our gym dates as dates.
Oh yeah, we go to he changed his work schedule so that we could go to the gym every morning together. So that was really great, and I love that gesture because he changed his whole work schedule around, and it may not be the most convenient thing to do, but he did it so that he could prioritize us and some time together. And then we get to go to breakfast and stuff on Fridays. Yeah. So it's the little things. It's the little things. It's the little things.
Before we move on to our 2 cents, I'm going to just read this. You guys can take it as a word or not.
Take it as a word.
It says, accountability is a gift we give ourselves and each other. It says, I care enough to grow, not just for me, but for us. Whether you're the wife or the husband, accountability is the bridge that keeps love alive, even when life gets hard. That is a true statement. Nice. So that's a word. For me, it's a word because it's true.
Yeah.
It may not be a word for y'all.
I like marriage isn't about being right. It's about being real.
Well, girl,
And that's like literally one of the reasons why we really wanted to like do the podcast. Like obviously it gives us time to spend with each other. And you know, we like to do the funny stories. We love doing our reactions and stuff like that. And then when we have episodes like this, it's because for so long, so many people think that what they go through, they're the only people going through. You're not. You know, and then when they see people who have been together for like as long as we have or longer, and they just like have an assumption like, oh, well, that's because it must just be easy for you guys to like, because you get along. It's not.
Lord knows
like we still go through things. We have gone through challenges, you know, with our own insecurities. We've gone through challenges with our finances. We've gone through challenges, you know, just us changing as individuals. And we constantly have to kind of reinvent, you know, the relationship in order to want to stay in it. And that's the thing. We still are at a point where we want to stay in it. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to go through challenges. It's not going to mean that there's periods in which I'm not, you know, 100% happy in my relationship. My husband's not 100% happy in his relationship. But we're not intended to be 100% satiated all the time because that's not how you grow.
Yeah. The only thing that make a relationship last is determination not to leave.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And we're both still in the headset that you still here? Yeah. If you still here, I'm in it. All right. Then let's move forward.
I mean, plus the fact I'm not starting over.
I mean,
so if this one don't work out, it ain't gonna be another one.
I mean, I've heard what the dating pool is like, so
I heard it's a cesspool.
I guess I'm gonna stick beside him. All right, guys. So good discussion, babe.
Good go.
Let's go
we might do a series on this.
Oh goodness, yeah, maybe we'll have to start. We'll work on something for that with you guys. So we'll bring in some other couples too at different stages of marriage, and we'll have that as a discussion. Yeah, so let's move right on into our 2 cents. Okay, let's start with this one. My date asked me to pay for a free meal and I refused.
Oh, okay.
Crazy. I went to go meet a guy for a first date at a restaurant that he chose. We met in the parking lot and he had a medium-sized box with him. When I asked what was inside, he said that it was work-related and that the restaurant owners were clients of his. He was a salesman for something. He disappeared for about 15 minutes while I was being seated at the restaurant. It was a bit awkward to be sitting at a table all alone for the first time for the first 15 minutes while he double booked our date with work. We sat down, we chatted a lot. He wasn't ready to order for the next 30 minutes we were at the table. I decided to be a good sport about it, even though I had been sitting at the table now for 45 minutes and hadn't ordered anything but water. During the chatting, he admitted to me he trades goods for meals at the restaurant that we were at. If, for example, the goods that he's selling is worth $100 retail, the restaurant will give him a meal that's worth the same. He said that the cost of the goods are much lower than the actual retail price, just as the cost of the restaurant for the meal is lower than what the menu price is. And that made sense. We ate, and for a few reasons other than the meal trade, I had decided that we weren't right for one another. The following day when he texted me, I let him know that I didn't feel a spark between us and that I won't be seeing him again. He then texted me that I owed him money for half of the meal. He said it was customary if a woman decides it's a one-time thing that she should pay for her half of the meal. I would, quote unquote, sort of agree, but in this case, he didn't even pay for the meal at all. So I'm not sure. Is he talking to me as if I had an agenda that had gotten a free meal out of him for going on the date before I even met him? But am I the asshole for not paying for a meal that was free and we never received a bill?
First of all, no, you're not an asshole. The meal wasn't free. He bought it for the meal, so it wasn't free. He did pay something. He just didn't pay in cash. But this is wild to me.
Yeah. He said it's customary that if you, basically he said that if you don't agree to go to a second date, you basically went on the first date for a free meal, but he already got the meal in trade, technically for free because there was no bill. So he expects you to give him cash when he didn't even... The goods weren't exchanged for cash, but he wants to profit.
This is why I always say the first date should be something like quick and easy, like coffee.
He still probably would have wanted half.
Go to a bagel shop. Something.
He still probably would have wanted half.
You're not an asshole.
You're not an asshole.
I wouldn't give him a dime.
I just wouldn't respond. After he texted that, I just wouldn't have responded again. That's fine.
Blocked.
Okay. You can feel the way you feel. Apparently, I got a free meal, and we can all move on with life.
You should hit him with one of them old quotes. What the hell that got to do with the price of tea in China?
Just respond with hashtag Heliante.
What the hell?
What the hell? What the Heliante? What the Heli Cyrus? Okay, last one. Am I the asshole? My husband will invite his family and friends over without telling me until the day of. He then expects me to cook, clean, run to the store, prep, and cook everything. I finally just decided to leave the house the last time he told me because I only had 4 hours to the arrival, so he canceled. The thing is, his family is constantly judging and talking about each other. So when he says it doesn't matter, they don't care, I know and he knows that he's full of it. Mm-hmm. Also, it's not just tidying the house. We are not regularly stocked in food or drinks to have people over. When I got home, I asked what he was planning on having for dinner, and he responded, I don't know. I guess it's a good thing that they aren't coming over anymore. Now he's sulking, saying that I'm the problem because I can't just go with the flow. I've told him multiple times that I just need a couple of days notice just to get the house in order. But he insists that I am being difficult, uptight, and uncooperative.
He's not taking accountability for his role.
He's not taking into accountability how much it takes to get things in order to have people at your house. Right. That's what and in his mind, he's thinking, first of all, it's my family. Right. It's my house.
Why should it matter?
Why should it matter?
You know why it matters?
It does matter because your family talks shit.
Because if mama walking here and this house is dirty, she finna talk shit about me.
She's going to talk shit about me.
The whole time.
Yep.
It matters.
She's not going to say, son, when is the last time you cleaned these countertops? Right. She going to say, my son done married a lazy woman.
Right.
Did y'all see them countertops? Because she know, like she said, his family talks shit.
All the time.
And they talk shit about each other. So I know if things are not in order, right? And then some of you might be saying, well, if the house is constantly clean, then that wouldn't be a problem. BFFR.
But hold on. It's like, even if the house is constantly clean, she just said that the house is never stocked. So he expects her to drop everything and go get everything and stock shit
and
up.
And then cook everything because his family is coming over. Like, it's not going to happen. If he comes to me and says like, everybody's coming over at 2:00 and it's 10 a.m., you can go ahead and send a mass text and let them know that we will reschedule for next Saturday.
Right.
We're going to reschedule for next Saturday because what I'm not about to do is try to hurry up and get to the store, get all this stuff, get here, cook. And then there's certain things that you look around the house and you're like, oh, like, let me clean that because that's going to be the one thing that somebody else notices. Right. And yes, it may be something that I clean often, but now I got to take time out of cooking, prepping, going to the store to sit here and clean that. And you're not doing nothing.
And it's not that she's saying they can't come. She don't want them to come. Yeah. She just said, give me a heads up.
Yeah. No, that's
Can you let me know a couple days before?
That's because they're sitting there talking.
Because maybe I could do a little. I could do a little this day, a little this day.
I can do the bathrooms on Monday.
Right.
I can do the downstairs on Tuesday. I can do this on Wednesday.
Ma'am,
Thursday, I can go to the store. Friday, I can prep all the stuff that's going to be cooked for Saturday.
Here's the thing.
Then Saturday morning, boo.
Here's the thing.
Come on.
Ma'am, you're not the asshole.
No.
I would just say, hey, how about from now on we go to their house?
Right. Why we could never go to? Why can't we do a same day planned trip to their home?
Right.
Let's do that.
Right.
Let's give them a 2-hour notice.
Right.
And tell them we're going to be coming.
Right. Pull up.
I can't.
Well, this has been another episode of the Life After I Do podcast.
If you're not doing so already, don't forget to like, comment, share, all of the things.
Follow. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
And then tell their grandma and their mama.
Yes, and the Heliante.
What's the Heliante?
The Heliante, the Heli Cyrus. Follow us at Life After I Do podcast on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. I was about to say Instacart.
We not on Instacart.
You can also flip. You can also write into us at lifeafterido podcast @gmail.com. You get a new episode every Wednesday, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for rocking with us. Until next time.
Peace, Booscaronis.
Peace, Booskies.
What the Miley Cyrus?